Working with Mike has been an absolute nightmare. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. We have a soundtrack today. Today's topic is working with videographers. So we posted a video in the past about, there's some tips and tricks that I tell you guys, work with a videographer. But today we want to show you guys truly what it is working with a videographer, behind the scenes. And when I say working with a videographer, I mean somebody that's not necessarily on our team. It's a different company, but we always treat anybody that we work with as if they're part of our team. If he needs help moving things, if he needs to do a shot again, if he needs us to step out for a shot, we're here to make his life easier so that way we can have a nice smooth day. So today we're working with Mike. It's one of Sergio's videographers. Sergio is the company that we always recommend, Hernandez Production, but we work with a ton of other videographers. We're at the sanctuary again and we're just about ready to go and get ready for the first look. And I was thinking for this, like a nice idea is maybe having you guys facing away from each other, holding hands for a second, and then we'll go, all right guys, go ahead and turn around, and you can both turn around. So you both. All right guys, whenever you're ready, feel free to turn around. There guys, ready and action. Looking at each other. Good. So little update for you guys halfway through the wedding. Working with Mike has been an absolute nightmare. No, I'm joking. We worked with Mike in the past a bunch of times, so it's been very smooth. He knows what we're doing, he knows what he's about to do, so we go back and forth and we give each other a little bit of grace, give each other a little space to get what we need, because at the end of the day, it's about what they're gonna get, what the couple is gonna get. So by us working together as a team, it helps them in the end. Now, right now we're just waiting, they're changing outfits, and what we wanna do is just get another set of photos in a different area of the venue where they're wearing a different outfit before they get introduced into the reception. Before we did this, before they went to go change, we did family photos. Now with families, they sent us a list, and whenever we get a list, I always say we gotta follow that list verbatim, because if you do a bunch of additional shots, but you miss a couple of shots from that list, they're gonna remember that. So I would rather we just follow the list exactly as it is, and then we can always do additional ones. But Brian wanted different combinations of people that were already there, so I just ran it by him. I said, hey, I know we have a list. Are you okay if we just kind of skip over some of these and, just get as many as we possibly can for the next 10 minutes? He said, yeah, let's do that. Forget about the list. It's okay. We'll make sure that we get as many as possible. So, it's learning to adapt. Even though normally we have that rule that we follow the list verbatim, we decided to be adaptable today. And as long as they're happy, everybody's happy. So right now we're waiting for them. They're about to finish getting ready. We'll do like 5 minutes out here, just a quick little session, and then it's off to the reception. There's a lot going on today, but little by little, we just chip away one step at a time, and it's been nice and smooth, and they're happy, which is the most important part. All right, so Alexis was asking me, how am I feeling right now? We've been shooting for a few hours. There's been a lot going on. And one thing that I was gonna say to him, but I figure it's gonna be helpful to you guys too. When there's a lot going on, I don't get overwhelmed, because at the end of the day, what ends up happening is the day just tends to move a little bit quicker when you're shooting and there's a lot going on. I would rather have a day like today where there's many events happening one after the other, because it goes really very smoothly and very quickly, instead of shooting something and then we're waiting 2 hours in between events and now it feels boring because there's so much downtime. So in a day like today where it's just activity after activity, event after event, the day moves very quickly, which is nice because it stimulates your brain and you just keep on going. So hopefully the dance floor is gonna be, very bumping, because that also makes it go by nice and quick. But they look like they have a good crowd. A lot of them are very enthusiastic. So it should be a nice, smooth day. So another thing that I wanted to mention is we didn't bring them to this side earlier because the sun was actually really, really bright over here. So every single time that you would shoot here, there would be light on their faces. And yeah, there are some photos that look pretty cool with that hard light. But for the most part, we want to have nice soft lighting on them. So that's why we waited. We did all the photos on that side first. We did photos inside. And now that the sun is much lower, it's all the way over there. Now you guys see there's a little bit of speckled light on the floor, but it's not how it was earlier where there was light all over the place. So now that it's a little bit more even, there's an opportunity to give them something different, a slightly different backdrop with good lighting, nice even shade on this side now, which is not something we could have done earlier. So right now we were just discussing how we were working together. So one of the things is, like, if you're working with a videographer, is when the photographer uses a lot of flash. Mike, take it away.
So yeah, usually when a photographer is using flash, you just got to let them do their thing and let them know ahead of time, like, hey, let me get my shot afterwards. Or even like getting the shots in between when he's setting up, little things like that. You just got to be mindful of, your area and situation. But yeah, usually it's a lot of communication beforehand. Sometimes you get certain photographers, they're just there to get the photos and don't want to work with a videographer.
Not TNK photo.
No, not TNK. Yeah, absolutely not. But yeah, just once in a while you run into that, you just got to communicate with the photographer and and just let them know, hey, you got to get your shots too as a videographer, because the client, they expect their video, and you can't make excuses like, oh, the photographer, they're just got to do your job, man.
Yeah, and I think as long as you have clear communication in the beginning, where we tell Mike, Mike we worked with in the past, keep the money. Mike we worked with in the past, so he knows how we work. But with other videographers, as soon as we meet with them, even when the first time we met you, I'm sure I said to you, listen, let us know when you're about to get a shot. Let us know when we need to step away. Let us know when we need to stop using our flashes. Get your shot. It's going to take them 30 seconds to get their shot, and then we can continue, instead of having this tension that sometimes you build with other professionals. If you're truly a professional, you're going to know to throw the ball at the other person. So luckily, we have a good team. Mike, we worked with a bunch of times. We just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight when you work with other videographers or other photographers.
And also, there's also like other vendors, like the venue vendors. They need to get their shots too as well. And
right, yeah.
It's all about communication in the end.
And it takes 30 seconds to step away, let them do their thing, and then keep going. Yeah, all right, let's go get back to work. Give me my money back. All right, so right now, Mike just came up to me and he was asking me about the white balance of the light. So that's a really good thing when you work with somebody and you guys have that kind of friendship where you can tell each other, okay, we're gonna go with this white balance. So Mike came up to me and he said he's gonna be going 3200 Kelvin. So we're gonna do a CTO on our flashes and then bringing our white balance down to 3200 Kelvin. So that way everybody's matching and we're not mix and matching white balances. So really helpful when they're on your team and we don't have to fight them. We're in the parking lot, yeah. All right, cool. So right now, Alexis and I are testing out the night shot. So what I did is I put a grid on this, and what I was looking at is all the string lights that go above at this venue. And that's the idea behind this shot, is that we want the string lights to be overhead, but we don't want them to be across them, because then it's gonna cause a lot of streaks. So the idea is doing a slow shutter speed. So right now we are at 1/4 of a second at 2.8, ISO 200, and the flash power is at 1/8. And what you do is you take it and you kind of swirl back and forth. And that should work. And this is why we're testing it out right now, because what I don't want to do is bring them out and then be figuring it out while they're here. This one, I actually raised the shutter speed a little. 1/5 of a second, f4, ISO 200, and 1/8 power. That seems to be a pretty good, that's what we're gonna do. Because that's the nice sweet spot where we're getting a little bit of streaks in the back, but they're also gonna be sharp. Overall, very smooth day. It was a little bit of a longer one. Usually we do 6 hours, 7 hours. Today we did 8 hours, which is not a terribly long day. We stayed until the very end. We started with a little bit of getting ready, although they didn't do a ton of details. So we really just went straight into the first look. We did the wedding party, which was 7 and 7, so it took a little bit longer. But we allocate for all this. This is why we ask questions before the wedding. We send them a timeline form, which tells us how many people are in the wedding party, how many guests they have total, and any other details they want to let us know. So that helps us out. So on the day of, I knew that we were gonna need a little bit of extra time for the wedding party because it was a little bit bigger. So overall, we followed the plan that we already had. It was a smooth day. They're extremely happy, and we tried a few new things. So really good day, and now it's time to, I would say get some rest, but I'm gonna go home and transfer all this. So it's gonna be a couple of hours till I go to bed. All right, guys, thank you for watching.